Okay, let's look at eyeball anatomy. We have some cow eyeballs here that have already been dissected. We just want to go through and make sure you're feeling comfortable with the parts of them. Generally speaking, we look at an eyeball, it's more kind of put together like so, making a total globe. But here we have some that have already been kind of pulled apart. So on the outside here, when the eyeball's together, in the front we have the cornea. It's going to be kind of this light pinkish color here in the middle. Normally this is nice and clear so we can see right through it. Then we have the white portion of the eye, and it's again kind of not as white as it normally would be, but the white of what your eye would normally be is called the sclera. And even in this one, maybe we have a little better example where the cornea has been lifted up and then the white of the eye is nearby here. There is some pigment on this eye as well. Part of that can just be from the post-mortem nature of this eye as well as the preserving process. There is an area called the limbus, and that's where the cornea connects to the sclera. So this first part here, supposed to be nice and clear, connects to the white of the eye. After we open our eye up, we can see a little more, some more features here. This eye, we see the iris, and the iris is normally what makes up the color of your eye. Here in these specimens, they're always going to be kind of a black color just due to their being post-mortem and the preserving process. Turning this eye over, we can kind of see that iris here on the outside, as well as the lens that's here in the middle. This is the lens from our previous eyeball over here. It kind of looks like a marble. It's going to be our lens. On this eye here, where that hole is where our lens would normally be, but the hole in between the iris is the pupil. So that's really just a hole there. There's not like a thing that is the pupil. Okay, more on the outside, on the back of our eye, we see the optic nerve. Large nerve coming out the back portion of the eye. A couple different versions here. I kind of think of him looking like a big giant worm. Moving in towards back into the middle of the eye here, behind the lens is where we see the back portion of the eye. There is this little film here that is the retina. You can see this kind of spins around, but normally he was lining the entire back part of the globe. The really beautiful part here, this opalescent material, is called the tapetum, and it's responsible for helping animals see at night and reflecting light back towards the retina so that the retina can gather the information. Then we have our black portion here, and that's called the choroid. It's the black part of the back of the eye. Also, let's see, we have where our retina gathers all that light information and connects to the back here. We can see the optic disc, so I kind of move it around where it connects. And on this one here, we see where the retina has been removed, and there's that area of the optic disc right here. The optic disc is where we connect to the back of that optic nerve, and it sends the information to the brain. A couple things that are missing here in these specimens would be the vitreous humor, and the vitreous humor was the jelly that you saw in lab that made up this back chamber was with the retina. And that could definitely end up on the exam. It might be a little pile of jelly that you might see just hanging out nearby with a pin in it. So that's our vitreous humor. We also had the aqueous humor, which was difficult for us to see because these specimens are also a little bit wet already. But that's the liquid portion that's in the front part of the eye between the cornea and the lens. So this guy might still kind of be behind here a little bit. So that makes up all the things you need to know about this eyeball.